Thanks for watching this video. Let's talk about business analytics. This is from the Pearson text. So these are not my PowerPoints, but as we go through these slides, I'm going to explain some of the terms. This is Business Analytics Methods, Models, and Decisions, third edition. Again, this is a Pearson product. So what is business analytics? Business analytics is the use of data and technology and statistical analysis and quantitative methods and computer-based models, all of which are used to gain knowledge, to gain insight, and to help managers improve their insight about their business operations, to help them make better fact-based and strategic decisions. Some of this data is available via real time. It's literally streaming into their records, whereas other data is historical data. Well, if we combine both the current and the historical, we can create models for business managers to create decisions off of. Some examples of applications. One is pricing, so setting prices for consumers and industrial goods, government contracts and maintenance records. So if you look at historical records, say for example you go into Target during the month of November and you see a 45-inch television set, Sony or whatever it is, and let's just say it's $400. And then you notice a month later, a week before Christmas, all of a sudden that same TV is an extra $100. So now instead of 400, it is now 500 that they're saying buy it now for 20% off. Well, that's where they get you. And people are paying that other price, but managers, the people who are deciding that, have said that they know that people are going to spend more money as they get closer to the holidays. Customer segmentation. This is a way of identifying and targeting those key customer groups in the retail, insurance, and credit card industries. For example, we can segment based off of gender. We can segment based off of education level. We can segment based off of income level. We can segment based off of age. For example, we can also segment off of geography. For example, Ford is selling a pickup truck. Well, in the commercials in Florida, they have this pickup truck towing a boat. So in the Midwest, would it make sense to have the same commercial? No. Okay, then how about a truck towing a four-wheeler, or going through country mountains or country hillsides? So these are things that are going to identify with that geographic segment. If we go to, let's say, California, that same truck might be towing a boat, it could be towing jet skis. So those are just a couple examples of customer segmentation. Merchandising, this determining brands to buy, quantities and allocations. How do you merchandise to different types of people? If you've noticed, Rice Krispies is a great example of merchandising. They've got Snap, Crackle, and Pop. They've never had a person on their box, whereas Wheaties had various sports people on their boxes. And that kind of bit them in the butt when a certain sports person who used to play golf got in some trouble. Again, location, finding the best location for bank branches, ATMs, even restaurants. Location is key for some of these companies. For example, if you have a restaurant, you want to make sure that you're in a busy area of town. because they're not going to see you if you're on the outskirts. You notice there's usually a lot of shops and restaurants in a typical downtown area. Well, that's because people will walk in that area and browse those shops. They'll usually go to those restaurants. So just a few examples of the applications. Another example is your supply chain design. Determining the best sourcing and transportation options and finding those best delivery routes. For example, let's say you are building a doll, okay? Well, if you're building a doll, that doll is going to need clothes. It's going to need other components to create a cloth. It's going to need the head, the hair. Well, how do you find those components? Well, once you find it, you want to make sure you've got the best source, best price, and also most reliable. Now, the tricky part is do you put all your eggs in one basket with just one source for each component that you need, or do you have one or two? So you always have that backup plan, and they're always kind of bidding against each other to get your business. That's a strategy you have to consider. Staffing. You always want to make sure you have the right staffing levels and capabilities, always hiring the right people. Sometimes, let's like say during a call with a call center, you want to make sure that during the peak times, you're going to have the most amount of people available. Sometimes this could include having flexible schedules for people, which benefits both the company and staff. Work, if your call center answers calls 24 hours a day, the more flexible you can be with your staff, the happier they're going to be, because they're still going to be able to take care of their family and do what they need to do and still work the number of hours that they need to work. Healthcare. Scheduling operating rooms to improve utilization, improving your patient flow and waiting times. Have you ever gone to the doctor's office and have to wait? You have an appointment, and yet you still have to wait 30, 45 minutes, even an hour. Well, there's a major issue because when that schedule was initially created, it didn't allow for any what I call whoops room. So if one patient goes long, so let's say the normal patient takes a doctor 15 minutes to talk to and consult with. Well, what if that doctor had a couple of patients who had more difficult challenges and took an hour or so of the doctor's time, putting him further and further behind schedule? Well, the trick to scheduling, especially in healthcare in that particular situation, is allowing for those extra long appointments or knowing your patients well enough to know if they're going to need a longer appointment or a shorter appointment. All right, now let's talk about the impacts of analytics. There's both benefits and challenges. The benefits of applying business analytics can be significant. Companies have reported reduced costs, better risk management, faster decisions, better productivity, and even enhanced bottom line performance such as profitability and customer satisfaction. For example, 1-800-Flowers used analytics software to target print and online promotions with greater accuracy. They changed their prices and their offerings on its website and optimizes marketing, shipping, and distribution, even their manufacturing operations, resulting in a $50 million savings just in 1 year. So business analytics is really changing how managers make decisions. Now, on the flip side of that are the challenges. The biggest challenge that I have seen is the fact that there are so many people who do not fully understand just how to use analytics. They have all this data, they just don't know how to use it. There's always competing business priorities, not enough analytical skills, difficulty in getting good data. Well, there's no such thing really as good data, bad data. It's really about how well the data that's been coming in has been cleaned. And then being able to share that information, maximize the knowledge you can gain from that information, and then also not understanding all the benefits versus the perceived costs of analytics studies. And then let's talk about the evolution of business analytics. Well, the foundations are business intelligence, information systems, statistics, and operations management or management science. So business intelligence is about finding the information, finding the knowledge from what is in your data. Information systems is the system that's used to get that business intelligence. And then statistics is the mathematical calculation that we use to create our models. And the operations research and management science is the part of doing the historical research, trying to find the patterns or the behavior of your consumers or your patients or your target audience. So I'm going to end the lecture here, and I thought I'd go into just one problem that is within this chapter and just do a real quick review of how to resolve that problem. Okay, these are a couple of the questions from the back of chapter 1. I thought I'd just go over a couple of them. I'm not going to do one, but we can look at number 2 and number 3. So number 2 is how might analytics be used in the following situation? Making and marketing a new product, deciding where to locate a new plant, and determining a personal investment plan. So let's look at A, making and marketing a new product. So analytics might be used for a couple of things. One, it might be used to better understand consumer preferences. It might also be used to manage or better manage your supply chain or even your distribution channel. Also to create a more efficient production schedule or even to determine advertising allocations and so on. It's really endless how you can make and market it, how you can use analytics to make and market a new product. Now let's look at B, deciding where to locate a new plant. So this is going to be comparing costs of different locations, whether it's in, maybe you want to be in the city, or do you want to be out in the country? Do you even want to be in the United States, or do you want to be in another country? All of these are things we want to look at to maximize not only efficiency, but the location of where it is. You want to minimize your overall costs. For example, it's going to be more expensive to have a plant in New York, than it is in some suburb in Ohio. The problem is if you're in some suburb in Ohio, you may not have access to the number of workers unless you were in like New York, where you have tons of people around. Now let's look at determining a personal investment plan, part C. Well, you can collect and understand data for different investment choices. You can also look at allocating funds among different investment strategies. Manage your level of risk. All right, now let's look at number 3. So a supermarket has been experiencing long lines during peak periods of the day. The problem is no sleep hours on certain days of the week, and the peak periods sometimes differ according to the day of the week. There are usually enough workers on the job to open all cash registers. The problem supermarket managers face is to know when to call some of the workers who are stocking shelves up to the front to work the checkout counters. How might business analytics help the supermarket manager? What data would be needed to facilitate a good decision? Okay, let's look at that for a minute. Business analytics can help to predict that customer demand at the checkout counters and to determine the appropriate number to have open and when. We can use descriptive analytics by examining historical data on customer flow during each hour of the day, each week of the month, and even each month of the year, because it's going to vary. A predictive model can be developed to forecast customer demand, let's say 30 to 60 months in the future. Sorry, 30 to 60 minutes in the future. Whereas a prescriptive model might be developed to find the number of checkout counters to open to ensure reasonable wait time or maximize customer throughput. A great example of this is the national chain Kroger, who used business analytics in a similar fashion in using a system called QVision. And please take a look at that. It's under supermarketnews.com/technology/technology helps Kroger keep fast checked promises. Actually, I'll go ahead and put that, pull it out quick. Pull that up. Okay, and there is the link. Supermarketnews.com, technology helps Kroger keep fast checkout promise. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Please let me know if you would like to see all of Chapter 1 or specific help with Chapter 1 or help with any part of this book.